On today's Star Wars Legends lore video, we talk about the Empire's major mistakes at the Battle of Hoth. Although the Battle of Hoth was an Imperial victory, it wasn't the curb stomp needed to take out the Rebel Alliance for good. I mean, there were a myriad of mistakes. First of all, the fleet jumped too close to the planet itself. This allowed the Alliance to put up their planetary shield and prepare to evacuate. However, even with this mistake considered, the Empire could have still saved their desired overwhelming victory. Let's give a brief recap of the battle itself. First, the Empire identifies what they believe to be a rebel base on the planet Hoth. Death Squadron makes a poorly calculated hyperspace jump, allowing the rebels to put up a planetary shield over their base. The Empire lands troops on an unshielded portion of the planet and attacks the shield generator directly. However, the Alliance still manages to evacuate key officials and equipment using a combination of GR-75 transports and their planetary ion cannon. So what mistakes were made? And again, it still was a rout of the Alliance, but it certainly wasn't the victory it could have been. So I think the Empire had two main strategic choices. They could have either tried to strike at the Alliance quickly, or they could have been patient and played the long game. What would the long game have looked like? Well, I think a blockade of the planet would have been a good start, calling in additional resources, and eventually starving the Alliance out, perhaps destroying the planetary shield through sheer force, something like that. A quick strike, on the other hand, would have meant going down to the planet's surface quickly, destroying the shield generator, and taking out the base from orbit. Instead, the Empire cut down in the middle. Yes, they sort of went for a quick strike, but they did so in a way that gave the Alliance lots of time to prepare. They landed Blizzard Force, which then made a long trek through canyons and valleys and plains, before slowly mowing through Rebel forces and destroying the shield generator. However, by that point, most of the transport were already loaded and escaped. What would have been better? Well, I see two options. First, why not just use TIE fighters? I mean, it's been confirmed that TIE fighters were used during the battle, but they didn't fight in a substantial way. Not only that, but in the Rogue Squadron video game, we actually see TIE bombers fighting in atmosphere. In my mind, the best strategy would have been, instead of using heavy, slow AT-ATs, the second you come out of light speed, launch all the TIE bombers and TIE fighters you have. And we're talking Death Squadron here. That's an Executor class Super Star Destroyer and a whole fleet of smaller ships, so that's likely thousands of starfighters. It is true that the planetary shield prevents flying straight down to the base, but as the AT-ATs did, you could fly down through the atmosphere and then go in through the back. Use those TIE bombers, get in, take out major ground-based structures like the ion cannon and the shield generator. You don't even need to bother with a full ground-based invasion. The fact that the Empire relied on troops and walkers really makes no sense. They're too slow, they didn't take advantage of the rebels' weaknesses in the sky, and they were pretty easy to spot and prepare for. A quick strike on the shield generator would have allowed the Empire to either precisely or totally bombard the rebel base, either taking out key structures like the ion cannon or where the rebels were rendezvousing, or just killing everyone indiscriminately. The other, and I think better option, would have been to just relax and use some patience. Once the rebels were secured, the Empire could have made sure that they didn't escape. Yeah, it wouldn't have been an instant kill, but Darth Vader could have called in some interdictor Star Destroyers, which would have prevented any escapes, and slowly pounded away at the planetary shield. And we know that Star Wars shielding is not infallible. Eventually it would have fallen. The Empire had such overwhelming force that there was really no reason for them to just throw down a couple of AT-ATs and call it a day. Again, they had the entire Death Squadron, that's a Super Star Destroyer, and a fleet of regular Star Destroyers. The actual destruction of the Hoth base itself wasn't really very important. The Rebel Alliance was very mobile, and really what was key was destroying the personnel, which is what the Empire failed to do. Interestingly though, this method still doesn't account for the linchpin of the Rebel defense, the planetary ion cannon. The failure to handle this cannon is another major reason the Rebel Alliance was able to escape. We learn in the Dark Fleet trilogy that planetary cannons do have a few weaknesses. Once identified, you can take advantage advantage of their firing patterns and the fact that a planetary shield has to actually be opened for the shots to pierce through, and you can destroy it with precision turbo laser fire. I just wonder, why was this never even considered, and where was the Executor during all of this? We see Star Destroyers disabled by the ion cannons, then GR-75s seemingly slip through, but where's the rest of the fleet? I think probably out of position because they were too concerned about actually waging the ground assault. Again, this is where patience might have been helpful. My point is, the Empire should have committed to either a quick strike or a long drawn out affair. Instead, they kind of went in the middle, choosing to land AT-AT walkers. AT-ATs are fine, but I think they work best defensively. They're very slow, it's easy to see them coming, and you can prepare for them. Using some sort of commando team or TIE bombers or something of the sort I think would have been much more effective, and you could have taken down not only the planetary shield, but also the ion cannon. That, however, is just my opinion. I've kind of been spitballing in this video, it's been a bit more rambly than usual. Let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for future content. As always guys, this has been EckhartsLadder. Thank you once again for watching, and hey, may the Force be with you.